All right, we're live. Welcome back to the Shelf Life Show. I'm Matt Adelmann. I'm the VP of Sales for Food and Beverage at the Genesis Company. If you're watching this on the Genesis page, we are live like we do on LinkedIn once a week. We had to change dates this week. Unfortunately, we are on Wednesday, so sorry if that throws people off, but we're still live. So if you see me and you clicked on my profile or you see this pop up and you want to engage with us, absolutely ask questions as we go along. The point of the show today is to talk about IDDBA 2025. What were the 5 things that we saw at the show that really kind of caught our eye and we thought were great takeaways to share with the audience? For those of you that don't know what IDDBA is, it is an industry trade association for the bakery, deli, and dairy categories. It's held every year in June. And we just got back from it. It's been about 2 weeks, and it was great this year. One of the best ones that I've ever attended. I've been going mostly every year since about 2009, 2010. And it's one of those things you just kind of look forward to. If you're in this industry, if you're in bakery or deli in particular, it's kind of a close-knit family, and it's awesome to go and see everyone at the show. So that's what we're going to go through today. I'm going to pull up some slides here. I've got 5 things that I thought were really kind of cool to see this year in particular. I've got a couple examples of products that I liked, but more just like, where's the industry at? What's going on with bakery, deli, dairy? What went on at the show if you didn't go? What did you miss out on? And maybe things to think about for next year. So that's the lay of the land. Again, we do these live in case people want to interact and ask questions and jump in. So if you are joining us here, I'm curious if you were at the show, what did you see? If I'm missing any trends or any big things that you noticed, drop it in the comments here. I'd love to chat about it with you guys. So I gave just a really quick intro as to IDDBA and what it is, but go to the next slide here. We can talk a little bit more about the industry. Most categories in food have industries and trade organizations that sort of help grow that industry and help the retailers and the brokers that specialize in it. IDDBA is no different, except I really think IDDBA does a great job of supporting its members and really trying to grow this industry. So again, it supports dairy, deli, bakery. I would say really, 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 really strong in deli and bakery. Dairy is represented of course, in the show, but this show is really heavy on bakery, really heavy on deli. The people that attend IDDBA, it is the actual folks making things happen in this industry. I was explaining to Tiana on my team, the people that are at IDDBA are, if you go into Walmart or Target or Costco or Aldi or Albertsons or any of the big giant grocery stores across the country, or if you go into any of the small mom and pops, the products that you find in the back rooms for the bakery and the deli are the manufacturers that are at the show. The retailers that go to this show are the people that make all the decisions as to what actually gets carried in bakeries and delis. The distributors, the brokers, the wholesalers, these are people that are, really driving this industry. It's a little different than like Expo West. We did an Expo West breakdown, a couple months ago. Expo West is just new and trend. Of course, there's big major players from industry there as well, but it's a lot of brand new people you've never heard of. It's a lot of trendy items you've probably never seen. At IDDBA and a lot of these trade shows, it is the major players, the established brands, the people that are the lifeblood of the industry. You do see a little bit of innovation, but that is not the point of the show. The point of this show in particular is really reconnecting and just making sure that the industry is supported. So that's it. Little background on the show. What does IDDBA do? Well, they really help the whole bakery and deli world grow, develop. They put out a what's in store trend article. It's not an article. It's like a really thick book of everything that's happening in bakery and deli. Tons of great info, lots of trends and analysis of categories and flavors and just all sorts of stuff that you want to know if you're in bakery deli. And then this show itself, like I mentioned, it's every year. It's held in June. This year was in New Orleans. I will say New Orleans is a wonderful place to have a trade show if you are responsible. I did not go out to Bourbon Street and some of the other things like I did last time I was in New Orleans. And I will tell you, I woke up feeling very happy and refreshed every morning, if being a little more responsible than last time I was there, staying up till 3 a.m. So next time it's in New Orleans, if you weren't there, I strongly encourage you to come and check it out. It's kind of a cool place to visit and see if you've never been. Next year I think is in Orlando, but we got a whole year to plan for that one. So that's what IDDBA is. I've spent enough time sort of introing this. I'll get into what did I see that I thought was really great at this show. I mentioned it a little bit already, but attendance was awesome this year. There is 10,000 people, or roughly 10,000 people that were attendees of the show, or at least registered to be there. 1,000 exhibitors, and of that 1,250 new participants. It was kind of weird. My first day in the show, I flew in the day of the first day, and I got there in the afternoon, and I walked in. I was like, it's really quiet in here. But as I walked around and saw the people in the show, you've got name badges that says who you are and what company you're with. The first day and every day I was there, all the badges were all the people you want to see. It was the buyers of bakery and deli from all of the big retailers. And so I was a little surprised because it was quiet and it was easy to talk to folks. But the people that were there were the people that you want there at the show. And that was the feedback I got from every booth that I stopped and talked to. A lot of my clients were there. A lot of the Genesis company's clients were there. A lot of my old friends and colleagues in the industry, everyone that I stopped and talked to, they all said the same thing. Man, all the buyers are here. All the good people are here. All the retailers are at the show that we need to be there. So attendance was fantastic this year. And I don't know what it was. It tends to be that this show does really well when it's in the middle of the country. So New Orleans it's a long flight from, the Northeast and from parts of the West Coast, but it's in the middle of the country. So it's a little easier to get there. It doesn't take as much time and travel. Usually when it's on the East Coast or the West Coast, attendance isn't quite the same, at least from my experience. And so maybe that was part of it, that New Orleans is in the middle. Maybe it's just people wanting to get out and go travel. I'm not sure, but it was great. So kudos to the IDDBA team. Kudos to the people that put this thing on. I thought it flowed really great. The space is a easy, simple space to navigate and walk through. And it was cool to see so many people, the right people there. So we'll go to number 2. One of these things is not new. 2 of them are. I think what really caught my eye is that the food options, especially for lunches, really, it was great this year. It was exactly what you want this show to have. Deli, which is a salad bar company, kind of like a labor-free, AI automated, the future of salad bars is what they call themselves. They had a salad bar in the middle of the booth, or in the middle of the trade show, and the line was insane every single day. People were waiting 5-10 minutes to get a salad from Deli's salad bar. Tiana, I don't know if you can click the link where it says salad bar. Are you able to click that and bring up? I had a little video on just showing you guys exactly what this thing looked like. We'll see if it loads here. This is the first time we've done this live, so it may not work, but that's okay. Oh, it's loading. Come on, the circle of death. There we go. So this is the line for the Deli line. It loaded a little late, but the start of this video shows just how long the line was. You can see it wraps all the way around, and it was just to get a salad bar. Right? You're in a trade show full of food, and people were waiting forever to see this thing, which I thought was cool. It was like, I always say this to vendors that are going to shows, like, you've got to stand out somehow. You've got to do something different than just sitting there trying to hand out samples. Unless you're one of the big brands and everybody knows you and wants to see you. If you're a newer company or a smaller company, you got to make some noise. So I thought Deli, they're not a small company, but I thought they did a great job of creating noise and excitement. People were walking around with the Deli salad bowls. You can see it in the picture there, the compostable paperboard, whatever that thing is. And free marketing, free advertising everywhere in the show. And so kudos to them for putting that on. Dietz and Watson, they do this every year. They've got one of the longest lines during lunch of people trying to get their hot dogs or one of their fresh made sandwiches. So here's just a picture of one of the many parts of their booth. They had a massive booth at the show. And I think they just do such a great job of getting people to come and get excited and try their products. Everybody at the show knows who they are. So, I mean, it's not like, I mean, they're not small. Their booth is enormous and it's right in the middle. So there's some benefit there too, but they take full advantage of getting as many people to try product. And then Zenshi, which I believe is AFC's new brand or renaming. I'm not exactly sure how all that works, but Zenshi had a super, super fun booth. I love the sushi booths when they take a whole tuna and they break it down and then serve it to you right there. There's just something magical about having fresh sushi right there. You see the whole process. So there again, we're in the middle of the banquet hall. And on one side of their booth, they were breaking down fish and fresh sushi and making it. And then behind those guys, their booth was fully walk-aroundable. They had, is it Robata, I think it's called? It's the little charcoal grills that you see in Japanese restaurants where you have skewers of meat and they cook it right on the charcoal. So they were cooking up fresh tuna if you wanted it seared or if you wanted it raw. It's cool. There's a lot of people that stand around and see it and watch this and look at it. And I loved their booth. So I thought engaging food options. And the reason I put this in there, again, if you're a brand watching this going, what do I do different? How do I get more people by my booth? Like I would really, study from some of these folks that do a great job of drawing crowds and figure out how to make it work for what you sell and your types of products. So the food options were awesome this year. Number 3, I saw more automation in this show. Like you hear AI everywhere, right? Automation, artificial intelligence, computers coming for us, coming for jobs, whatever. And it was there, like a lot of robotics and a lot of automation was present in the show. What I have on the screen here is a picture in 2023. IDDBA had a couple of machines that were there. They had this coffee one, which I thought was super, super fun and interesting. It's a customizable coffee robot, right? Where you could plug it into any retail location or really wherever you want. Customers go up and they put money into the machine, press a button, and then the machine does its thing. What felt different though with what I saw this year is that more automation for back of house, which could actually go into like a Target, for example, right? The picture of the robot on the right, that thing was taking fresh muffins out of a muffin pan and putting them into packages. So it's kind of hard to see the plastic on the table, but those 4-count muffins are clamshell containers. And this machine was able to take the muffins right out of the pan and plop them into the containers. And it just did this over and over and over and over and over. And it will do it as good as any human probably can. And so it just got me thinking, like, I know labor is a huge, huge problem. Not problem. It's a really hard part of bakery and deli in particular, because it costs a lot of money to have people work the back of your stores to make the foods. And so as these robots get better and as technology continues to improve, it's something everybody in this industry really has to be watching and keeping an eye on. And it's something that manufacturers have to really understand, because if all of a sudden retail partners have some of these machines available, chances are you're going to want to rethink your packaging and you want to rethink how your product's coming in. Like you're going to have to make sure that your product fits the machine and not the people anymore. And so it's something that everybody really needs to be, aware of as we move forward and how this stuff is playing out. So we'll see what next year brings. Chances are 2026, 2027 and beyond is going to be just more and more and more of this, with how much AI is growing and how smart these language models are getting and how smart and sophisticated technology is getting. I mean, maybe 2030, it's all robots making the food. Who knows? Like, it's kind of the path where I think that we're on, though. Number 4, bakery in particular, licensing has always been a really big part of the category. And at the show, it was cool to see that there's some really fun relevant, exciting licensing stuff still going on. And it's not just bakery. So I love, love, love these Paw Patrol gelatins. I sat at the booth for a little bit. This is Lakeview Farms or Novos, I think is their new company name. Either way, Paw Patrol gelatins, it's their Winky brand of gelatin, and they have a license deal with Paw Patrol, 4 flavors, no crap added. Like it's bringing a super, super relevant, kids loved brand into a category that has not seen a lot of excitement, in my opinion. Sorry, Jell-O is not that much fun. And it's a super strong license, and it's a super strong product. It's, like I said, free of crap. It has nothing in it. In terms of the bad no-no stuff, added some vitamin C, I think it was, and a couple other things. And like, hey, totally makes sense. Reinvent the category with a super strong licensing deal. Bluey was at the show. It's kind of hard to see in the picture on the right, but those are Christmas-themed decoratable cookies, which it's not a new thing, but you've got Elf, you've got, I think, Rudolph and a couple other movies, Christmas-type movies that really resonate and bring seasonalness to the category. And it's cool to see when licensing deals really, really fit with what the categories are trying to do. And so it's still there. It's still strong. Yes, there were a lot of brands at the show, but also tying in relevant seasonal, timely licensing stuff it's a no-brainer for this category. And it's starting to move beyond just bakery, like I said, with the Paw Patrol stuff going into deli and some of these other categories. So viable option if you're a manufacturer trying to figure out what product extension, what else can I be doing, I would check out licensing opportunities for your category and what you're doing, because they work really good. And then the last thing that really caught my eye, and this is not necessarily new, but I think it's relevant in today's times with the economy and with everything else that's going on. Indulgence and taste are still absolute the mandatories, right? People don't walk away from bakery and deli in times of economic uncertainty if the products are great. So, comments that we tend to hear a lot in this space is, I'm willing to spend $5 or $6 or $10 or whatever it is on a indulgent item if I know it's going to taste great. People are totally fine with that. What they're not okay with is spending, their discretionary income, which is more limited now than it was in the past few years, on something that's not going to be worth it, right? And so Cheryl's cookies, I love their cookies. They're delicious. There is a reason that they are so gigantic in e-commerce, because they are fantastic. I'm totally fine spending $4 or $5 on a Cheryl's cookie because I know how good it is. I had a box in my freezer one year, and the box didn't last very long. And I told my wife, we're not allowed to have these in the house anymore because I'm going to eat them all. And it was really cool to see them have a big presence at the show and something that is very delicious. The Sum line of dumplings and the pot stickers and just everything that they had was so good. I didn't intend to eat as much as I did, but I stopped by their booth and tried them. I'm like, this is delicious. I love the way it looks. It presents well. This is an item that, again, if a consumer tries it once, they're going to realize, dang, that was really good. They made a great product here. I'm totally fine spending some discretionary income on it. Noosa had a new line of mix-ins on their Noosa yogurts. Their yogurt is delicious. It always has been delicious. It is very indulgent. It's not like your normal Greek yogurt. It doesn't exist to give you whatever. It exists to be indulgent and to give you an experience of, wow, that was really yummy. The new mix-in line, I sat at their booth and I didn't need to eat as many as I did. I wish that Derek would have stopped handing them to me because I probably had too many. But they were good. They were so good. And so my point to anybody watching this, especially the food manufacturers, is that don't skimp on indulgence and taste in bakery in particular and in deli, because these categories are highly, they're highly, I don't even know the right word. People want an experience. They're highly sensitive. You know what I mean? People care about flavors in this category and these categories more than any other category. And so indulgence and taste is still, in my opinion, the absolute mandatory. You have to develop and make sure that you are absolutely scoring high on those two metrics. And there were tons of other examples at the show. I just grabbed 3 that were top of mind to me that really stood out as I'm, a couple weeks post show going, what was really good that I ate there? These 3 were phenomenal. So I think that is it. If anybody is watching, I'm curious to know what takeaways do you have, or what did you see at the show that I missed? Please drop a comment in the comments here, and maybe we could chat about it. There's a question that came in. Based on what you're sharing earlier with automation, do you see AI or tech-enabled solutions impacting how retailers and buyers approach the category? Here's what I see with AI tech solutions. This is in my mind, and I'm not an expert on the AI piece. Like, I've spent maybe, I don't know, a couple hours thinking about this, but to me, where I instantly go is to the labor piece and back of house. And if I know that there's technologies in play or something back of house that's going to change the labor model or change the way that somebody is going to take the raw ingredients and produce it into whatever, maybe there's a robot back of house that can base decorate a cake, right? They can base ice it, and then, the cake decorators, all they have to do is the fancy stuff. Like, I would be thinking through AI and tech things like that of what's coming that's going to change the labor model that I need to make sure that I address with the way my packaging works, the form of my packaging, the size of my products. Let's say that robot that gets the muffins is actually in a retailer's operations. Your muffins better fit the thing that the robot uses to get the muffin, right? And so I see this as really, like, you've got to make sure you're having these conversations with all your partners now on what are you thinking of, what's coming, what are you looking at, what might you put into your stores in the future that I, as a manufacturer, am going to have to know about, so that my products work with whatever these machines are, if that makes sense. That's how I'm thinking about it. I mean, on the data side, AI is just insane. There's so much data available now and so much trend reports. And so I see AI helping a ton with flavor development and product development and just what comes next and what can manufacturers start making next, or what can retailers lean into. So there's that whole data side of it as well. But I'm really interested in the robotics and the labor aspects of Baker Deli. Another question: what do you suggest brands should be doing right now in terms of engagement post-show? Well, I think I said this on the Expo West one. I think I said this last year when I do these recaps, and I'm still amazed, absolutely amazed at the number of people that scan a badge and never send any sort of follow-up or anything. When I was a buyer at Target, I had no problem giving my badge to people. When I was a buyer at Albertsons, right? Like, go way back, I would give people my information saying, please follow up, please follow. I'm interested. I liked your product. And the number of brands that just don't follow up at all, it blows my mind. Like, it is as simple as, thank you so much for stopping by my booth. I really appreciated chatting with you. I'd love to continue the conversation. Can we set up time in the next week or two to get back on the calendar and talk? Or, if you have notes about the person, hey, it was great talking to you about X, Y, and Z. I'd love to get back together and talk about this further. How do we do business? I really think it's as simple as send an email. I like BombBomb videos, if anybody is familiar with that. So some of my people I saw at the show got videos from me in the last week or so saying, hi, it's me. You didn't see enough of my face. I'm sending you a video too. But you got to follow up within a couple of weeks for sure before this is completely out of people's mind. Last question. What is the best thing that I tried at the show? Oh boy. At the show, I think what just comes to mind, that those Noosa yogurts were delicious. Ethel's was a brand I stopped by. They had a cinnamon crumble I'm looking at a little coupon that I have of theirs. They had a cinnamon crumble breakfast bar that I ate on the airplane on the way back. That was so delicious. I'm not gluten-free at all, as you can probably tell based on the stuff I eat. Ethel's is a gluten-free brand that was delicious, and yay, gluten-free too. But that was so good. At my restaurant, one of the restaurants I ate at, I had a crawfish stuffed beignet, which was phenomenal. It was a whole little plate of them. I could only eat 2. They were too rich. I had to share them with the bartender. It was very fun. It was a great show. lots of good things to eat. Tiana, anything else pouring in? Any other questions coming through? I think she said that's it. Awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out with me today. And again, if you're watching this in the future, we love to chat. So drop a comment on what you saw from the show. What were your takeaways? Shoot me a note. I'd love to hear from you guys. And we will be back next week on Wednesday again next week. We're going to talk about reviews, I believe, Tiana. Is that the correct thing? We're going to be talking about enhanced guest reviews. How do you get better reviews for your products online, especially with the retailers' websites or on your own website? So Target.com, Walmart.com, your Shopify stores, or any other website where you host reviews. We have a really cool deep dive into improving review scores, review ratings, and just getting more of them for you. So come hang out with us next week, Wednesday, 12 o'clock Central. And until then, I look forward to chatting with you on LinkedIn. Shoot me a note, and let's stay in touch. Take care.